What's up, everyone? I'm back here with Silas. We're doing our second stream, building our awesome events app with Next.js and Strapi. And so welcome. Let us know in the chat how you're doing, and let me know if our audio is good. I think my audio was a little finicky, but let me know how that's going. And Silas, how have you been? What you been up to?
Fantastic.
Nice.
Writing, and let me say that you can see what I'm writing about for web development on Twitter. Silas
Nice. Yeah, so it's at Silas Path. Make sure you follow Silas if you're not already. You should. And with that being said, we could just jump into the video, and I want to kind of walk through some of the stuff. I think Silas jumped off for just a second. He'll be back. Anyway, while Silas is getting back here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first tell my kitty to say hi. And she likes to play with the wire. So for the stream, I'll have her go down. Let me just double check with Silas how they doing over there. Sometimes, things happen. But we're going to jump into the project in just a second. And we're going to go from there. Oh, Silas joining us back again. Hello again. Hello. I think your audio, hold on, let me see. Is your audio on again or not? Nope.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah, perfect. Hey, listen, this is how you know live streaming is happening, because you can't script stuff like this. This is literally the way it is. And the reason why I love live events is because in real time, you all can ask questions, you could participate, and what have you. But we're going to jump in, kind of going through the project, where we are right now, what we're doing. And before we do that, Silas, do you want to talk quick history, like how we met? What do you do here in Austin, Texas? I hear that there's an awesome event that you manage. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah. Well, we met at a remix meetup that is fantastic here in Austin. And from there, we happen to both share a love for meeting other people in the community. So we really connected over the Next.js meetup, which I run. It's monthly, and we had about 30-something members go to our last meetup in October, earlier this October, and where Paul talked about Strapi and getting started very fast to build an amazing app. And next month, we are going to host our next meetup as well. And that is going to cover the topic of using Vercel's AI SDK.
Nice. Awesome. I just saw a question that somebody retracted, but it's such a common question that I'm going to bring it up again. And Sky, okay, there it goes. They said, I asked this question 8 months ago and still am asking, how do you get out of tutorial hell? I'm so scared, nervous building on my own. And you know what? I love that you asked this question, because that's exactly why we're looking to focus on doing these build in public events, because this is one of the best way to get out of tutorial hell, is because you are going to work with others on a project. It's not just you by yourself, and you could ask questions, you could do work together. And if you mess up, no worries, because the best part about using GitHub, you could always fix your issues. So somebody says my lighting is dark. Let me see if I could fix it. Let's see here.
It's just a tad, little dark.
I got this. For you all.
You look good, man. Even with the...
it's slightly not, I'm a vampire. What can I say? This is what it is. This is what's happening today. We're not going to make a big deal about it.
It's the spooky season for vampires.
Right, exactly. It is Halloween season.
So we love them.
Maybe this is what I meant to do. Adjusting the lights a little bit. All right, I think that's a little bit better. But anyway, it's not about my lighting. It's about our awesome content. So let me share a screen so we could go from what's been happening. Let's make sure we add Silas here to the screen share. Yep. And so, perfect. So right now I'm sharing our public GitHub repo, and what I'll do is I'll shared in the link as well. This is a project both Silas and I started to help to encourage new developers or anybody interested to participate in something that you could do with other people. So like Sky said, one of the biggest, hardest things to do is feeling comfortable that you could build something. And the point of it is to actually start building. And we actually have Anton, who's jumping into the live stream, and Anton has already done some awesome PR requests to the project, and he actually helped us building the UI, which is amazing. And so very, very cool that we have this participation this year. So before we get too far into it, I shared the link in the chat. Here's the repo. This is our second stream. We might do more streams with this as we go along, but the idea is to build a app to manage events similar to a website like meetups.com. And here we kind of show you how to set up the project, and maybe we'll walk through this process with Silas, how to pull the changes. But more importantly, just want to kind of scroll down to kind of, I scroll too far or not far enough. So here we go. So the basic app requirements is we want to have a website where you're able to log in and register as a user. You want to be able to manage your events. We want to have CRUD functionality, you know, create, read, update, delete. You should be able to create events, add details, and so on. You should be able to read and view events, and you should be able to update or delete events that you are, you know, responsible for. And by the way, I see someone saying, I'm sorry I missed the first meeting. If you have a moment, you could link me to the previous recording. Yeah, I'll do that like later. And
on
no
this
big
channel.
It is on this channel, right?
Right?
The past live stream. Yes, it is. But if you missed it, no worries. You're not
No
like you could
worries.
literally join now, and you'll be glad to have you here. So you're not missing anything. You're here, and we'll walk everyone through the process. And then with some basic interactions we want other users to be able to like events. Eventually, we want to add a user profile, which in its initial stage will just have your username and email, but we'll add like additional options eventually if you want to add a picture, change it. But the most important part, we really want you to contribute and participate. There's many ways to participate. You could literally just give us feedback. You could give us ideas. And you could also, by the way, if you wanted to get involved, you're more than welcome by doing PR requests. And so like I'll quickly scroll up here on the top. If you go to issues, you know, we have a couple of conversations. We have our public chat here. This is a great place to start to kind of see what has been discussed, you know, talking about different ideas, what we're working. And so this is a great place to see your public chat. Then you could also check out issues, and you could see I marked some issues with to-dos, and this is kind of like what we're currently looking to work on. And so the things that we're looking to work on is the events list items for the main page. I think Anton is actually currently working on that. We also need to create a single detail page, create all events page, which shows a list of all the events. We still need to create registration page and create a login page. And we're going to look at the project, what we have so far in just a minute. But before that, the point is to let you know that this is open to anybody regardless of your experience. You're not new enough to do this. So if you're brand new, you could still participate, and you could still do PR requests. You could.
You're not too old either.
Right.
You're too
what
late.
What are you trying to say, Silas,
Jump
over
in
there?
there.
What are you saying? What are you saying? I'm just
Jump
kidding.
in here.
No, not in here, 100%. That's like, you're not too late. You're not too new. You're not, you know, too experienced, and we'd love to have the participation. So what I wanted to do is kind of go through the process of what do you do? Like, how do you jump into a project that already has been started? And so we could take a look on how to do that. And so the first thing you would do is you would fork your repository. And so what I think we would like to do, because I think you already forked the repository, Silas, I believe, and we could have you drive, and you could see if you could just start the project running. That'll be our first goal for today's stream. So if you want to share your screen,
Oh, that's a good idea. So you're saying it would be good to start with starting from a fork in GitHub,
yes,
going to the desktop. Yeah, that's a good idea. So let's do that.
Yeah, because I think that's awesome. Because that means like anybody watching the stream today, if you haven't participated yet, this will be your first step. This is what you would do. This is how you would start. So excellent.
Step number one. Okay, guys. So let's just say you're starting from.
And
Okay, I'm going to
hold on
share
a
the
second. I'm
entire
gonna share your
screen.
screen just as a reminder. And perfect,
So
perfect. Let me.
let's just say I'm at GitHub. Boom, here I am. And I have been giving a link to Paul's Next.js build in public. Which, by the way, I just learned this recently. If you change github.com to github.dev, it's going to open this repo in the web editor. So you guys don't even have to clone this locally, and you can just navigate here and have your own VS Code web editor for this. I think this is fantastic. I want to go back though to actually cloning it on my machine in a moment. Oops, back and back. Okay, so let's do this. We're gonna do this thing called fork, and we're going to no avail. Oh, I already did. So that's cool. But
So
that would
step
be
one's
that
done.
simple, right? We'll just fork, and I would be here, and I would
Yeah.
see it under my GitHub, my personal GitHub styles path, Next.js build in public, and then you'll see it says forked from Paul Bretzlavsky's Next.js build in public. Cool. And while we're here, do you want to go over some updates to the README?
Yeah. So basically, I know Anton says, thanks for this awesome README in repo. Tried our best. I borrowed some of the stuff. So the first update that we have here is just showing you how to walk through the setup of the project. So if you're starting out, it shows you the detailed steps and everything that you need to do. I also created some scripts to make the setup part even faster, which we'll go through here. And then also, if you scroll more to the bottom, we have the contribution kind of out like guide how to do so. So it kind of walks you through, exactly what Style is doing, forking the repository, cloning your fork, and how to set up your upstream after you make changes to be able to push the changes back, how to make sure you synchronize everything that's up to date. And to be honest, like if anybody makes a mistake in any of this process, it's no big deal because we could always revert, fix stuff. So don't let these instructions, especially if you're new to Git and working with other people on a project, scare you because literally there's no way you could break things because you could always restart again.
1 second.
Yes.
It looks like you're putting me on twice on the stream.
Huh. That's what. What do you mean?
I see double of me. Do you guys see double of me?
That is interesting. That is, you know what? You're so important that that's what on my. It's hilarious because on mine it looks perfectly fine. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh yeah. You know what? Fixed. Listen, I'm so I just fixed it. It should be fine now. I'm so excited about just jumping to the project that I'm not paying attention to any of that streaming technical stuff because I just wanna let's do this. Let's go.
No, that's perfectly amazingly fine. And
Nice, awesome.
Cool. Okay, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, well, awesome. That's the updated README. Come and contribute and fork. Drop issues if you just don't want to fork at all. So what I'm going to do though right now is I'm noticing in my fork, the fork is not in sync with the main branch right now, and I want to be. So I'm just going to go to sync fork here. I'm getting this message is out of date. I could compare, but let's just update branch. I just want to be caught up right now in the stream. Perfect. So now that I am caught up on the fork, what I want to do is access VS Code at this point. And I can do a brand new type of, just make another directory just to show you guys from start to finish what it's like to, oh wait, let me make sure I restart the shell VS Code has its, interesting little idiosyncrasies.
It's got its quirks for sure.
I know. Okay, so let's say I'm here in a new VS Code green field. And let's just clear out this command line. Okay, cool. So I have a dev folder, and I'm just going to make a new folder just for now, just for fun. Okay, for fun folder. So there's nothing in there. So let's go ahead and clone this fork to my machine. So copy this command, go ahead and go in, and then VS Code updates interrupting my flow here. Okay, now we're good now. Awesome. So it was cloned. I'm going to notice that this directory is here. Boom. So let's clear that out. And so what I'm also going to do with VS Code is go ahead and open the that particular folder. So then it shows up in the Explorer, and we're good to go from there. Awesome. So we're starting from scratch. So I see in this repo we have a front end and a back end. So what we want to do is okay, we're good. So what I want to do is I make two terminals, and then I'm going to have a terminal that's accessing the front end and a terminal that's accessing the back end.
So,
just like so.
I just wanted to quickly add, to make this process a little bit easier, if you go into package.json file, just so people could see what I'm talking about, and you could see we have we're using concurrently to be able to start both projects together. And so we have a command called yarn setup, which will, if you run it from the root, which will run yarn or npm, whichever is, to update all the dependencies. So instead of doing it individually, you could just go into the root of your folder and just do yarn setup.
Amazing. So yeah. Awesome. So yes, let's do that. So let's do yarn setup. Ta-da.
Nice.
So
and while
did
this
you
is
elaborate on this?
Yeah.
What I'm seeing is setup front end is calling this command that's also in the package, and what it's doing is going to this front end and running yarn.
Yeah, we have a couple of helpful commands. And one thing, like, as while this project loads, we are wanting to have some data that we want to use in our backend application. And the way Strapi works, in the way we set it up currently, you have your own local instance of SQLite running. So in order to make sure that you have some data, we also provide a seed file. So whenever you pull a project, what you would do is you would, after running yarn setup, you would first update your env environmental variables, which we'll do in just a second. You could probably do that now while it's loading. If you look in your backend folder, you're going to have env.example file. So we could keep that one there, but you could copy the context of it, or the content of it, and then create a new env file, and then fill that stuff in there.
I'll put up a new terminal and go ahead and seed into the backend, touch.env, then open.env. It might not be accessible. Oh, okay. Okay, good. It's hidden. It's ignored. Let's go ahead and paste it in there.
Nice. And you'll do the same thing on the front end.
You got it. So let's do that. So
and thinking about it now, I could have probably wrote a script to do this automatically, which would have been cool. But if anybody wants to do that, write a script to automatically. That would be awesome. We'll create an issue for that.
We love scripts.
Yes.
And then
and then so that'll be in .env.example, I believe, inside the front end.
Is this get ignored? I don't. It doesn't seem to. Oh, it already was.
It should be, but If
probably
not,
actually.
If not, no big deal, because this is our public URL, so it's fine that that's leaked. But we could add it to get ignore.
Leaked. Sure, no problem.
Yeah, nice. And then once everything has finished, thanks, nice, awesome. Once everything is finished, you could now run yarn seed in your root of your folder.
Okay, cool. Yarn setup is done. Let's do yarn seed on our root folder.
Yep. And then you would just say yes. The way seed works will just overwrite all your existing data. And tip here, if you do add additional data before saving your project, you would run yarn export to add those changes to the seed file. But right now, we're perfectly fine. And so this shows all the different items that it has imported into Strapi. And now, fingers crossed, if you run yarn dev, it should start both your Strapi instance and your Next.js instance.
Fantastic.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. You know. Nice. And so your next front end will be on localhost 3000 and your Strapi admin. And so because you're setting up the project brand new, you need to create your first admin user. So you would go ahead, enter your name. And for email, because it's local, you could do like test.user email. Doesn't really matter.
I'm at acme.com.
Nice. Classic.
My password. Okay, got it.
Almost as good as monkey1234! Exclamation point.
Shoot. Sometimes it's just fun to use keyboard patterns.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's go. Yeah, let's do it. Okay,
yeah.
we're
so
here.
Now, perfect. If you go to, also like you could switch it to light mode if you prefer. I don't know if you have a preference.
What do the people want? Light mode or dark?
Where
could I find it?
Yeah, you go into profile. Nope. Go back on. Click profile on the bottom right. Interface mode. No. You had it. Go back to the profile. So on the bottom, there you go. Light mode. Click save. Boom. There we go. We could see a little bit more. And then
sure, I'll leave it there. If the people hate it, y'all tell me.
Yeah, we'll change it. I don't have a preference. So if you go into, you could expand the menu with the bottom arrow on the right there. Yep, just gonna make it wider. Okay. You go onto Content Manager. You should see all the different items that we imported. We have our events. If you click on a single event, you could see the data that we have in the event so far. We could add additional data, but I just started with the title, the slug, description, location, date and time, and then an image for the event. If you go into users, we currently don't have any users because we still have to implement that, but that's okay. This is where you're going to find them. Now, if you go to your global page, your single types, there's many ways to do it, but we decided to go with single types global. You see that we have title, we have description, we have our logo, we have our main nav, we have our secondary nav. This is actually where we adding our navigation to that is going to be populated on our front-end application. So we're dynamically able to create our navigation from our admin. And I see a lot of people voting on dark mode, which we could, of course, change. But before we do that, let's go to homepage just for a second before we switch to the dark side.
Also, I'm noticing Eventler is a working name. I love it. Was that a choice from the people, or is that something?
Yeah, Anton, he took responsibility for that, and he created
Anton.
The logo. He created this is awesome. No, private account. What a name. It says, is this the last stream for this project? Hactoberfast is almost over. After all, listen, I'm going to keep this project going. Initially, we have it for 3 weeks. This is the beginning of the second week. And so plenty of time. But I do want to get to the endpoint just because, to be honest, I was thinking about it. Wouldn't it be awesome, Silas, if we had our own website for Austin events?
Right.
So we're going to take this to production. I think that's the goal. So if you want to join us for this ride, you're more than welcome. But the official timeline is 3 weeks, but we'll see what happens. And so if you scroll down, go to homepage.
Let's go to homepage. Well, also I want to share for Anton, it'd be cool if we shout him out in the README. Giving us that event name, right? That'd be cool.
And then he created the UI. And Anton, if you're on Twitter, send me your Twitter tag because I want to shout you out as well. And so the way we have our homepage, which you have the ability to add metadata, which I didn't bother with right now, but we have this section, which will be able to consist of multiple components. Right now, we only have one. We have this hero component, and hero component is our hero section on our website, which you see the information. So if you go to your localhost 3000 right now,
Let's go. I'll do it from here.
and hopefully it doesn't blow up.
Okay.
I'm just saying. If it blows up, I'm going to be not surprised.
And you guys let me know if I should zoom in.
Yeah.
I'm just, for now, temporarily just, manage my windows. Wow, look at this, everybody. Aren't we
There's
flushing
an
things
image
out?
is missing. I wonder why.
Ruh-roh. What's going on here?
No big deal. So go.
I'm looking here, and yeah, there's.
So there should be images. They are showing up. Maybe that should be. I wonder if you switch that to localhost, because you are
just in
getting
here?
the right URL. Yeah, just see if like localhost makes a difference. Because I think my computer, or just weird. Yeah,
It
so
is.
This is weird. I think like I think on a different computer, I think some of them need to have the actual IP and some of them localhost. So easy fix for your machine here. Go to here and change to localhost.
All right, so this is a frontend.m.
Yes.
Where we're telling it, how do I find the server? And then, of course, it's called Strapi URL. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Little quirk, guys. Just I think you have to deal with it.
Yeah,
But
it
we're
depends on
good,
the machine you're on. Boom. And so here we go. So on my computer, localhost didn't work. I was so upset because I think I changed settings and I have no idea where I changed them. And my whole machine now is like whatever. But bam,
Yes.
here's an amazing UI created by Anton. And he's currently working on creating the cards for the listed events. And so as you could see here, this is our hero section. So what's awesome about this, if you go back to your Strapi application, in your admin panel in your backend Strapi application.
Oh,
so
you mean,
So
my dashboard.
I meant not in
Sorry.
VS Code, but the actual admin panel. Yeah,
Every time I think of application, I just think of code.
100%. Yeah. So going to the admin panel instead of like
totally.
Yep.
I want to okay, 1 second. I'm trying to create like a new window
No worries.
to get this. Okay, this is gonna save. Okay, I want to open up localhost 3001 tab. Open up. So it'd be 1337 to get me to the dash. Super cool. I like this. So I see when I hit 1337 for my back end, it tells me that it's running, and then I can just boom. Awesome. Remember me. I'm this person. Okay.
Yeah. So if you go to the content, the content manager, and then you go to homepage.
Homepage on single types. Got it.
And then if you go to like the hero here, you could say where it says introduction. If you change it and you update it, it will automatically so yeah, you could write something in that text there.
Sure. Okay, cool. You know what? What can ChatGPT say? So ChatGPT, write a hero under, I don't know, 100 words that describes an event uh, creation platform. Boom. It calls it Eventify, but don't worry. I'm going to just copy pasta this. Maybe go to VS Code real quick, find all instances of Eventify, and then change these to Eventler, which I'm still cackling at. Let's go back to here. Let's grab this. Let's put this in, Meet Eventler, the hero of event creation platforms. Oof. Big win. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit save.
Yep, go back and back to Next.js. So here's the thing: when you refresh, and this is the question I have for Next.js experts out there. I think by default it does it. It does caching on the side, and I think this is statically built, and so it will not dynamically update it. So in order to see the changes, I believe you need to restart the project. So you could run yarn dev again, or in your Strapi, not Strapi, in your Next.js, you could add revalidate, and it will set the time to what you wanted to, like the second amount of what you want to revalidate your data, and it will do it automatically. But currently I'm just doing it as is because the idea that when we deploy this application, we're going to have a webhook. Once we update our data, it's going to run our webhook and redeploy our static site, because we do want it to be static for that particular page.
Okay. What's coming to my mind is it could be the case you don't have to revalidate because that pattern's out the window on a production environment, like you said, with the webhook,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it could be for a development environment only. I don't know if this is absurd, but we could have like a button that just says fetch again. And we could try that for fun here. What do you think? So we don't always have to keep.
Yeah, I mean, I do like completely stupid. I go no cache. So you could do in your fetch request, you do no cache. I think like I forgot what it is. Like if you go inside the fetcher, I think it's easier. Next docs. I forgot what the exact the value for that, the key for that is. No.
And if we go to
no
source, or let's see. Next.js fetch no cache. Gotta look at the docs.
Yes, the source of truth. Yeah, if you do cache, is the key, and then no cache,
cache.
/ yeah. So I think that would fix it. I think that's gonna make it. So in order to, so Anton had a question. He says, so changing data will not trigger a refetch. No, it would not, because we didn't set up a webhook. But once in deployment, we're going to set up a webhook that once the data is changed, it could trigger a refetch on Next.js. But we'll figure that out the closer we get to production. But I think this
I was thinking we can check if this is a local environment. For now, I'll just say local env equals true, because as of now, there's no way we can determine that our. I could make a process
you could create
a
env variable. Yep.
So why not? So let's just say environment equals development. So process dot process.env dot are these typed my environment variables? All good. That's pretty interesting. So I'll just put cache is like this. So returnary is this true? What is the other options for here? Oh, okay, here we go. Default. That should be satisfactory here. So we're making sure, are we production or not? If we're not production, no cache. And let's go ahead and then refresh. Yeah, look, ta-da!
It's there. Nice. And so here, what the cool part that I would just want to showcase, not to spend too much time on it, is that we have a way to pull data from our Strapi backend and easily push it into our Strapi app dynamically. And one cool thing that I want to show you, if you go back to the Strapi admin, through this idea of creating little components, and we only have one component, but if you scroll down here a little bit where you see the plus button, like so, scroll, yep, hit that plus button right there. It's going to show you all the different components you have available. We only have a hero available. So if you click hero again, right, you could add more, you could put some dummy data in there. Yep. You could do the text. I
Yeah,
think you will have to do for features. I don't remember if I checked the features are null, not to crash.
let's see.
So just
Are
add
they
something.
text? No,
Yep. And
that's
then
coder. Okay.
then you need an image. So add an image there.
Silas can do Next.js apps.
Dude, this is why
What's
we
up?
have Silas, because we need a Next.js expert. And then go, add an image.
Images.
Just
Sure.
choose like 1 or 2 images from here. Like,
I like
click
this
that
one. I
checkbox.
like this one.
Yeah.
Cool.
And click finish.
Finish.
And then now click save. And now go back to your front end. And you might have to refresh. Oh, wait.
Give me a second.
So that's saved, it's published. Yeah, that looks good. We could
Cool.
troubleshoot, but in theory it should show you the second one, but it doesn't. And I'm curious why. So
It definitely should. There we go.
there it
Look,
is. We just had to wait.
10 seconds.
Yeah. And so what's cool is that you could, through this idea of different components, you could create Strapi components, and then you create versions of it in your Next.js application, and you could create these pages dynamically. So to kind of show you how some of this logic works, if you go back to your code into the front-end project.
You got it. Also, Paul, you are dark though. Like,
Yeah.
it is kind of hard to see.
I gave up on trying to fix my camera. I'll try in just a second. It's annoying. I know.
What's up?
I know.
We're here.
I have another camera. The issue with this camera, you're gonna see my coffee cup. Hold on. And
You can go for it. I mean, what? It's all good.
there you go. This is what you get. No worries. I will adjust it in a second. But anyway, I guess I thought the content of our website is the most important part and not my face. But you know what? I'll take the compliment, and I'll say that my face is important. And then
Yes,
I have cats
we
here.
like
Where's
Paul's
my face? Where's my face? Here we go. Problem solved. You could all see my face now. Yeah, will probably see my cat's butt and everything else, so it's good. Watch out, kitty. Anyway, here we go. Nice.
Oh, so nice. There we go.
Nice.
With the cool, I like it. Awesome. Now this is a stream of legend.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yes. And so
everybody.
Wonderful. So if you go to our VS Code and look under front end.
Yes.
Listen, I have a second camera. I didn't realize that how heartbroken everybody was not seeing my face in all of its glory. So otherwise I would have switched the camera earlier. So, but I appreciate the love. Yeah, and if you go into like your index page, I believe, or the page that the root of your project.
I know we're still getting our nomenclature, but yes, the page, homepage, baby. Is this what you want to see?
Yeah. So a couple of things to notice here. We're using QS library, which allows you to take object notation and change it into LHS syntax for like query strings. So by default, whenever you query an endpoint, instead of getting all the data, because sometimes you want to prevent overfetching or be in control at least the data that you get. So similar to GraphQL, you could ask for what items you want to populate. So you're only getting the data that you need rather than everything at once. So that's what we're doing there. We're constructing a query that we're passing to our fetcher. But if you scroll down a little bit, we scroll down a little bit more. We have our section here. And notice how we have our, hold on, this is card head link return app event. Are we in the, hold on a second. Yep. Class. Yeah. On line 43, I need bigger glasses. We have this thing that I call section renderer. It's a basic function. If you navigate to that section renderer, you will see right now we only have a hero section. But basically what it does, based on our response, we get to see like what are the sections that we have. And based on the available section, go ahead and render them with these components. So our hero component in Strapi relates to this hero component in our Next.js application. So this allows us to create pages with dynamic content that you can, as a manager of or admin of the Strapi admin panel, be able to add content, and it will automatically place it in the order you created it dynamically in your Next.js application. Let me know if that was too confusing or not.
Yeah, so if I can catch up with you, I have the sections that are coming from Strapi. These sections came from the homepage data attributes sections, and homepage data attributes sections came from that query. I'm following, I'm tracking. So then, yeah, so this section renderer is where the React part of this happens. And we have our React component called Hero. And then in Hero is where we're seeing our rendered stuff on, let's go to the event app here. So if I were to do something like on here, just do something silly, like I like to do this a lot, BG, background, give it a background of red 700, see if that changes stuff. So just so you see, we're able to instantly edit what is coming from Strapi, our backend, and then we can do our front end development right here, right now with this stuff. So that was a pretty dark red, but if the people like it, no, I'm just kidding. I don't want that. But am I tracking, Paul?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And so, and also just where should we go from here is, if you scroll down a little bit, and Anton is working on this part, is here we're going to have our upcoming events, which will be a list of 5 events that are coming up next. And if there's no events, I'll probably say there's no events coming. Then if you go to the navigation, if you click events, we are looking for the events page, which will have all the events, and you should be able to click an event, and it should take you to that single event. So we not only do we need all the events shown, we also need the page with a dynamic route based on the slug to get that single event, and then we need to create that page. I think if you manually navigate, I don't know, I think we have the page placeholder set up, but if you want events / like 1, 2, 3, I think I'll show you there's nothing there at the moment because it hasn't been built out.
Okay.
And then the next thing, if you go to login,
we got our sign-in page.
Yeah, and I realized there's some stuff like I didn't push, but it's okay. We have our login. We need to implement the form here, and we need to go to register and implement the form there. And if you're wondering what API to consume, if you go in app API folder, I created a couple of under auth. Yeah, we have login and register. We could start with those. So this will probably have to get updated a little bit, but it works. So if you hit this endpoint with the proper credentials, you could see the Strapi doc for what it needs. But in the short, if you're making a login request, you just need to pass an object with a identifier, which will be your username or your email, one or the other, and a password. And then if you're going to register, you need to provide a and I'll add the TypeScript here so you'll know what it is. But you'll need to provide your username, email, and password to create an account. But you could test those endpoints via Insomnia or Postman if you wanted to.
Okay, cool. Where should we start?
So I think since Anton is working on the event lists, and we could probably reuse that same component in the event list page, maybe we could start working on a login form.
Ooh, yeah, let's go. So are you saying getting the sections from Strapi to make the login form?
We don't have to go that crazy, I think, because login, it's always going to be the same. The page, it's fine if we do it within here. So inside the sign-in page.ts, let's create a form that's going to consume our Or let's start with registration page because you can't sign in if you don't have a user yet. So let's go with registration. And so basically we need a form that's going to have 3 fields for username, email, and password.
Okay, cool. I'm going to opt for going for ShadCN here and
Nice.
using his fantastic UI. So let's open up here and let's just see what happens when I go to the page is called register. See what happens when we go here. Awesome. We got text on the screen. Let's style it up just a little bit. So let's go ahead and just see what's going on in the components that might be available. So for those of you catching up, when you're developing, it helps to not have to rebuild everything from scratch. And there's fantastic customizable component libraries on the internet. One of them is this called ShadCN UI. And what I'm going to do, we set this up in the last stream. It's not too complicated. There's an installation instruction here that's really good. You can click on the Next.js framework to get started on there. What I'm going to do right now, though, is just go look at the components that I want to use for this. And so I see something just called form. And this is awesome. So here's the anatomy of the form. So what do we have? We have how many fields? 1, 2, 3, user, email, password. And that's about it. Got a header and a description of the form. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and use add form. So we're going to use Yarn to get this into our front end. So I'm going to open up my terminal and I'm in my front end folder down here. So I'm going to paste in ShadCN latest add form. So we're going to get this on in our code. And what I'm going to show you after it was quickly downloaded is that I got it from the internet, but I can peek in and I can edit anything here, which is really, really cool. And then there are these fields included. But right now, I don't want to mess with this too much. I just want to use this basic stuff, and maybe later we can start really adjusting things. So let's go to the register page and move forward with this component. So I'm just gonna search for register again. Okay, cool. So register's here, and what I'm going to do is leave that route. I'm going to, for now, let's say comment this out. Okay, and so I want to get the form in here. So import from there and take another look at his example. So this is an example. I think he had, we're going to follow this as well because we have some validation we want to do, and it's always a good idea to have your form validated. So, okay, cool. So here we go. So form field. I believe from what I'm seeing is that this should be const form equals use form. And then where do I see, Paul, do you see what I'm seeing where I see form field?
Yeah, I wonder if they're using like a library underneath the hood to get the data, so it will be available inside the form object.
Okay, this is a much better example right here. So he has, yeah, okay, use form. Okay. So form wraps form. And then here we go. So a couple of things. So we're also going to import use form from React hook form. And form equals. Okay, cool. And then what I want to do is to continue following this example. I'm pretty much going to start from here. Create a form schema. Okay, the step by
Oh,
step
they're
is good.
using.
So
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
go from there. So
We don't.
one more thing I do. What's up?
I was gonna say we don't have Zod installed, so I know they're using it. So it's probably something that we need to add.
Yes. Okay. For now, let me just make a component. I'll just call it register form for now because it's going to use client. I could turn this entire page into use client, but that kind of defeats the opt-in, opt-out way of using client and server. But I'm going to mark this
So
component as use client.
yeah, I was about to say, quick question, because you do have the possibility of using server actions where you could keep everything a um, server component. But the question would be, does the Shansi UI library support that, or does it have to be or you see it here that does say you have to use client, so that answers my question. But
Oh, so the cool thing is a server action can be used in a client component. We just must define the server action in another file. And it'll be pretty neat, yes, to for us to be able to activate the server or call the server interactively. Really, really cool, and we'll get there. Um, so I'm following along here, and we're going to cross that bridge pretty soon. I actually want to update our form schema, so take a breather for following this guy for now, and I just want to make sure. Okay, we got username, email, and password. So we're using Zod. We're creating the Zod object that we're going to use as our. This is going to contribute to what our form schema is. So username, Zod is saying, okay, I want it to look like a string, a minimum of 2 characters, a max of 50. Cool. Next is our email, and Copilot has already given me some possibilities here, and I'm just not going to fulfill all the way. I just want to show you guys that we have this type safe, awesome way of getting these different fields. So email is one of them. And we're going to say, yes, email has the email like validation appropriate for it. And then, yeah, password. So this sounds perfect to me as well. And I'm just going to check if there's a password specific kind of, no. Okay. Well, we're going to do the encryption and all that on the back end anyways, or before, but we'll talk about that. Um, okay, form schema is in. Cool. So what we want to do next is start going inside of the component, and I'm going to copy this code that says define your form. First of all, I got to call it something. So yeah, Copilot, do your thing.
what's awesome, like I've heard of Zod, but I've never used it, and it's kind of nice that we're using it because it's such a great thing to do, to
Mm-hmm.
check validations and stuff like that. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and validation has been something people skip usually, but at this point, let's just put it ahead, of deploying this right, so we can be assured that we're just not going to have to revisit these issues later. So
And
we have what's up.
I was gonna say what's really awesome. There is if you write something invalid, there is an error thrown on the back end. But I think just being able to guide that process from the front end to not even have to deal with issues, it's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely, Paul. That's very important. Where let's make sure that each the state before it gets to the back end, before a request is sent across the network, how much can we interact with the user before that? And so this is definitely that part of that interactivity where we want to share with the user instant feedback, right? Even though the back end might be super fast, you know, literally being in the client, that's the fastest way to go about things. So this is great. And so what we're doing right now is when we're using this form, we got a resolver, which is going to give those error messages or warning messages, and then we have our default values already set. Cool. Form is there, and let's make our submit handler. So we'll put that down here. And this is a function called onSubmit, which will receive the form values. Console log in the values sounds good, but also this is where we do server action. And that's where we submit. But for now, logging is good. So let's just see what's that like. So
I do have a question for you with Next.js. So go back to the code for a second. So if we're using server action, we're thus interacting with the server directly. So there's no reason to call the API endpoints that I created. Is that correct? Because
I would say so. I would say so. So I know you made them here, right? Boom.
And to be honest, I think that's awesome. We'll keep that, and to kind of showcase, hey, because Next.js has this new feature where you could use server actions, you could literally call it directly. So we'll keep that as reference because we'll reuse some of the logic. But I like that using the new and fresh of Next.js.
Yeah, it is very remarkable how we're going to be able to not need to create a new directory and a new file. And so it'll be a file called blah server action, submit, register server action, which is incredible. So they're taking the concept of roots, API roots, and just putting it into functions, or more like functions are now becoming roots. Cool thing to contemplate and run with. So, and yeah, it'd be cool to have a story of just like, hey, we went from this amount of code to this amount of code.
Yes. That is
pretty
awesome.
cool.
I love it. I love it.
So, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and actually just copy paste all of this boilerplate for now, and go ahead and put this baby in. We need to import some critical things here, like forms, buttons, and input fields. All come from Shatzian, which is fantastic. Boom, they're all coming from here. Am I missing an input field? Components UI/input. Let me look. UI. I guess I don't have an input. So what I want to do then is go ahead and add input field.
Yeah, okay. That's slick how you could do that. That's I like that about this library. Like, I think like literally just like doing this project to just see, using Chancy CN UI and Zod together in the form, definitely, and server actions, 100% worth it. The price of admission, which is free, anybody could watch this anytime. But this is awesome.
I know, it's fantastic. And so one other cool thing that 1 second, am I exporting this? Not yet. So I'm going to make sure I'm exporting this component, this register form. I want to import it on my register page. And there I am. And the cool thing is with the Next.js app router, you can put your components right alongside your page right here. And it's all under the register directory. You could totally do things like, I'm going to add like 20 components. I'm going to make a components folder like that. I don't want to. Let's just keep it along there. It looks fine.
I think for me it's fine. But if you're like, but I could see like if your app is getting super huge and you have like domain specific components, you could just do that for sure. Really, really cool. Nice.
Okay, so I'm gonna make sure I can get rid of this stuff from here. I like doing some labeling and stuff, but just
seriously, right there. We got our
right
form.
there. We got our form.
It's beautiful.
It is
amazing.
Yeah, yeah, that was super cool. So let's go ahead and eventler, right?
So I think that's
Whatever.
for the input field. You
That's just a
probably
username. It's a
yeah
funny
yeah
username.
yeah.
One other thing I want to do real quick. Let's see. Can I change what? Oh. Okay, hold on. If I go to the definition of button, it should be automatically taking me there. Come on. Okay. And I'm going. If I go to, so it does accept class name. So I want to change this class name to what our friend Anton did for that red. So I'm gonna look up the sign up button. Um, was it lowercase?
Uh,
Oh, it's because it's coming from the back end. Well, I just want to know what color that button is. So if I go to header or something.
yeah, you should be able to find it there inside link. It's button right there. I made it as a link. Wait, yeah. It's
Oh,
the top.
cool.
Hold on a
Okay,
second. It's the top one. Yeah, that one. It's that
here it
color
is.
right there. And by the
Awesome.
way, we're not fully committed to colors. If you have better ideas for color schemes, let us know for sure.
Yeah, let us
But
know. Make an issue
yeah,
at any
but
time.
this is what we're going with for now. Boom, right there.
Oh yeah, and that's the power of customizing ShadCN. Really
Nice.
cool that we're able to pass class name down to button, not officially
That is
button, but it's
sick.
still doing that. Yeah,
That is
yeah.
sick. Yeah, I mean, I love it. Like I said, just alone between using Zod for validation, using Chancy, I can't pronounce it, like UI, and seeing the flexibility of it is pretty awesome. The fact that we're going to also use server actions all in one place, it's amazing. It's amazing. Um, by the way, let me ask you a question because I think my answer would be I would prefer to use server actions as much as possible instead of using like that old way. Are you like kind of in the same agreement, or there like you think use cases where doing it the other way still makes sense?
Server actions are stable. I know one place in our app that it is gonna cause a kerfluffle.
Yeah,
Or I'm anticipating it, but otherwise, let's go all the way. And
nice.
I'm so game for it.
Yes, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Um, Password.
And then
Let me
server
just.
actions, by the way, have access to next header where you could get the cookies and you could set the cookies very easily, I believe, which is nice. Because I think I know there's next auth, but I wonder if it's overkill for this particular use case, since we could just store the data in a like using next cookie.
Um, if you think so, that's cool with me.
I think like time wise,
Actually,
I imagine setting up next auth will take a little bit time.
it will take like a
Yeah,
chunk of
yeah.
time.
Let's save that as a nice to have after the project is done. If someone, it could be like a cool refactor someone could do. But I think just to keep it simple, we'll use just the standard cookie.
Yeah.
Standard
Okay.
cookie.
Let's access that when we get there. What I'm going to do right now is just center this a little bit. I want to have like a container in the middle of the page. So MX is auto. I want to have like form uh, form wrapper and have this also as MX auto, but the max width. Um, we're using Tailwind Brilliance here. I love it. I don't know, maybe 5, maybe a little
For like
less.
3.
That's a lot better, and just give me a little bit of padding on this page.
Put a little put a little shadow in there maybe
Even
around
if a
the
little.
corners. We could do it later. I think I might try to
This is
like
better.
this is good. This is perfect. I do want to because I know we have 20 minutes left. Because I want to be mindful of your time and my time for today. And maybe we could just go create a server action and make the call to Strapi from it.
That'd be cool. So first, let's go ahead and just see what happens when we make an attempt for a submission. I expect we should be able to use console log. So username Silas, event Silas at silaspath.com, password. Let's see. I wonder if I'm going to get validation errors for not having a long enough password. One, or maybe after I click submit.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
See, look at that. Out of the
Beautiful.
box.
You know what? Like, I just created a form from scratch and I feel like such a jerk. I'm going to use ChatCN UI and refactor my form based on what I learned today. Nice.
Okay.
This is
Yes, exactly, Paul. I'm glad. Yeah, we're here to share it with each other too. So,
nice.
boom, our server, or form rather, form state, we're capturing it. Perfect. We see down here in our client. So let's go back to the the code, and now we just look at on submit. So the great thing is that, as it says here, this will be type safe and validated by the time it hits on submit. Wow. And then we're just going to send it on along up to the server. So how do we want to do this?
We could call like register, like whatever the name of the action, server action is going to be, like Strapi register, like whatever. It's
Well, actually, yeah, we should define a so register the library for this. So const register equals an async function. It's going to receive data and it's going to do blah. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so.
And then do we have to specify this as use server, or is this automatically done?
Oh yeah, good one. We're gonna.
I was just wondering because like I always forget.
Yeah,
and
it's
I know
all good.
that
It's a new
I
paradigm.
also know that depending which version you have, like I think this is still a experimental feature, so you'll have to enable it in experimental features in the config. It
Oh
might throw
yeah,
you that error, which
that's
is
likely.
yeah, which yeah, you have to just add whatever experimental, and I think it's called server actions true. Yeah, there you go. It's amazing.
Cool. So let's go ahead and then it tells me it's restarting the server. I'll trust it, but if it doesn't, we'll go ahead and do that. But
It definitely has to be server true experimental stuff. It will. It's
well, I see here it says found a change, restarting the server to apply the changes.
Yep.
So should have done it. Okay, cool.
Nice. Okay,
Um,
awesome.
yeah, this is neat. So, okay, our next step is we're going to import the server action. So let's focus on just the server action. So, what do you
So,
think next?
so you can go into the API/register endpoint that I created, and you'll see the Strapi. Hold on, my big head is in the way. Let me move it here. And here, Strapi register. You could copy that whole function, I think, because that's like the crux of the thing. So yeah.
Basically, yeah. So I'm going to copy the body of this, put it in here. Booyah! It's in, and this desperately wants to be typed.
Yeah, I have the little
okay.
interface there for it.
Thank you.
And we could probably move it out somewhere, but it's there.
Awesome. Look at that. We have a typed data. We love typed data. And I mean, this pretty much
It looks like
should
it.
be it. One thing we want to do is we're no longer returning, we don't need to return JSON.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is we can return, so now that like server actions are kind of changing the game, because then to the client you return whatever you want. I mean, we still can do stuff
So
like,
we could redirect to
success.
somewhere, but for now, let's just keep message success. Perfect. Just so we know that it works. And here we are going to get access to the user. So the response is going to come back with a JWT token and the user. So you could you could return the response if you want, but it's perfect. This is fine. This is fine for now. Because I'm
Can we
assuming,
log it though? I
yeah,
do want to
let's log it.
see.
So yeah, I think,
Oh, okay, cool.
yeah. And so like
Mhm.
the cool thing we could do, actually, let's try it. Like if you do import cookie from next header, I think it's gonna be import inside brackets cookies.
Hold on one
Import.
second. Are we trying to access cookies
So it's gonna
in the
create a cookie.
server?
I think
Oh,
you
to
could do it.
create one.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think I'm actually curious. I think it's gonna be with the capital C. Yeah. Next header or
Come on, IntelliSense. I guess you have to write it out. Okay. Import cookie
I think
from.
it's from next header, next / header, I believe. Headers. And then
And
to
maybe
use
it doesn't like
it,
that. Oh, here we go. Found it.
I think it's a function. I mean, we could check the docs. If you search Next.js docs cookies, because
Let's
I thought
do
it was
it.
kind of cool that it comes out of the box, which is really sweet.
Here we go.
Yeah, so if you search
JS docs.
cookies,
Let's zoom in 200%. Look up cookies in app router.
so you could do like, yeah, click
I would think,
cookies get name or cookies. Yeah, so scroll down.
oh, sorry. I meant to.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Cookies. You can read cookies with
Yep,
cookies.
boom. So you could do const cookie store. No, that
So
doesn't
this
make sense.
is.
This no. This is keep scrolling down. There's one to create cookie headers.
Okay, one more time. I went to a different file, but let me go to this one. That should have the API. Cookies.get, cookies.get all, cookie
Yeah, so you
has,
just run as a
set.
function.
We found
Yeah,
it.
so you do cookies.set. Perfect. Just copy that little thing.
I guess we should do it.
So you would
after
do
we,
it after the call. So once we get and we'll do like a check to check if the data is okay. But for now, we'll just keep it like quick and dirty. So after the response, you could do name would be, let's say, JWT or whatever you want to call it. And then do response.jwt
perfect. Look at that. Response.
for now. And then we'll clean it up later. I just want to get the basic boilerplate. Because we don't have the response typed yet, that's going to complain, but it's fine for now, I think.
Yeah.
Because the response is going to be slightly different. You could do it as... the response for now, you could just can you give it like on the fly? Yeah, as like, yeah, basically, yeah, for now. And once you
Anytime we
get the
type
response,
angel cries.
and puppies, terrible things happen to them.
Puppies.
But
Yeah.
terrible. So now I think it looks like we have everything that we need to submit the form. So let's give it a try.
Hey, we got DLB in the chat. Welcome, DLB. It's giving us our survey actions. Oh, good stuff there. Yes, thank you. Yeah, this is awesome. Just when we have success, yeah, I do want to log the response. I want to return OK true. If I return OK true, I just want to do one thing. So I got to make sure I'm exporting register export default. Okay, cool. Then let's const response equals register. That wasn't what I wanted to import. Here we go. Values. Let's see. and then if reds.ok, let's just console.log,
Great success.
okay.
Nice. Perfect.
Let's see, like, is it going to go down?
It's gonna
Oh
blow
god,
up.
be typing these things, but okay.
Yeah, I think what I want to do is just like get like a skeleton
Oh
working example, so it doesn't have you just do everything. It's fine. Is it?
yeah. Quickly, I need to make sure this is an await. Um,
Yeah.
da, 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 and then and I need to make sure register. Well, no,
Would be
that
like the
this,
unsubmit. Yeah,
this.
unsubmit. There you go.
Wait, where do I write it?
It should be a sync function, I think, right? Doesn't it go before the function when you do the? So go. Yeah, I think.
Oh, all the way in the beginning.
Might be. Yeah, because it's always confusing when you go between arrow functions and regular functions.
Okay, I'm not a type master. I'm just gonna.
We'll fix this later. Right now, I just want to show that if we it might be like, yeah, it's fine. Just to show that we are getting data from Strapi and we are creating a user. So moment of truth here.
Let's go. Let's do it. Did it work? I clicked OK again. Did I get any logs of problems? No. Do we want to check?
It didn't show the response.
No, I didn't do that either.
Yeah, if you go to users, nope.
Okay, no one yet. I'm going to open the network tab just to see if it's a server action. Actually, I don't think we'll see anything happening on the network. But maybe I didn't refresh the page. But let me just go ahead and do that.
I'm going to make our faces a little bit smaller so we could.
I'm going to zoom in a bit too for the people here. I am super zoomed in. I just have to do it through this. Okay, cool. Server password. Just so I can have a good view and just see if it's going to
register 200.
Cool.
What's the response look like?
Oh,
cookie.
okay, response. And then look at our cookie.
Check cookies.
Moment of truth. Drum
roll. It's gonna be. Yep. Wait. No, go to cookies.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I use storage so much.
It's gonna be somewhere in there.
JW.
Yeah, but it's blank. That's fine though, because maybe we didn't. We'll see. Do we have a console log or anything?
What is this API register response? Is this the register response?
Attribute? No. That's no. Go to the Strapi admin. See if it created a user.
All right, friends.
Refresh. Yes. Boom. So maybe like there's a data / JW token. So like we got this. I know we returned JWT token. So we did it within the time limit. We have 6 minutes to spare before we have to go. So I think let's leave it here. Let's make this PR. Let's. I don't know if you did in a different branch, whatever. We could just push this as is as a PR, and then people could. If they want, review it, work on it, or pick it up from here and go from there. But this is amazing. So I like this pattern of using server actions instead of doing the old way that I planned on doing, where I use the API folder / routes. I will refactor that. I think I'll keep that as reference, so we could use it as a talking point in the project. But we are going to go all through server actions. And this is amazing. No, this is great. So recap, Shad Cian, I always pronounce it right. UI is amazing. Number one. Number two,
Thanks,
we used
Anton. You're saying great job.
yeah, Anton is awesome. We used Zod for validation. Amazing. Instead of going the old route and using API routes, we just went screw it. We'll just use the server actions directly, which is amazing. And so this is beautiful, and I think this is awesome. And I'm going to steal this pattern. I am doing a little tutorial on Next.js validation with Strapi, just because a lot of people ask about it. I think I'm gonna use the learnings from today's stream to write that blog post, because I think using the new and the greatest with Next 13 is amazing.
Yes, yes. And well, Paul, if I may, we can show, in a few minutes, just a few seconds, for getting this fork, make it a PR, put it back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, let's do
Cool.
it.
So we're here at at my repo. This could be yours. We're going to see when we're looking at our forked repo of Paul's Next.js build in public. Hey, we made a commit to this repo. We see it's ahead of his, right? That's good. So let's go to his. Let's go to pull requests. We're going to create a new one. And then we're going to compare across forks, and we're going to choose my repo.
And hold on a second. Before we go far, this is the most important step here. I did a PR to a different project. I forgot to do that. So please remember, when you click compare, you select your fork of your project that you want to create a PR with.
Yeah. Yeah, guys. And definitely ask us any questions. We got the Discord. There's Twitter as well to find us. And I think it'd be good to put that in the descriptions too.
I think the Discord is in the description. Cool. Yeah.
Or maybe
so I
maybe
think
our ads as well.
Yeah, for sure. You could add, change that, whatever you want to add, for sure.
Sure. Yeah. So here we are then. So yeah, we're double checking. Paul's is the base. Our head is mine in this moment. And we see our changes. Awesome. This is exactly what we changed. You guys can go through this. There's a lot of code we did change. I'm just going to create the pull request, and that should be the end of this little part of doing stuff. But let's just go ahead and click create. And I'll hand the mic back to you.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. That was amazing. Let's give Silas a big hand if you're not in the clap in your wherever you are. What I want to say, anybody interested in participating, you're more than welcome. The biggest thing that I see with a lot of folks who are starting out to code, maybe that's you, is they feel intimidated either starting something from scratch by themselves or participating. And the whole point why Silas and we're going to continue pushing this idea of build in public is we want to encourage all of you who are on the fence, who are looking to build your first project, or maybe you just try out Next 13 for the first time. Please participate in this public project. I'm going to give you two benefits why this is important. Number one, you're building inside a community where you're able to ask questions. You're able to interact with other folks, with the process. Number two is that if you're looking to build a portfolio, you'll be able to show like, hey, I publicly participated in this project. This is what we built. This is live on so-and-so. It's an actual website. These are the commits I made. This is the things that I did. And basically what you're showing is what you would basically be doing at a real job, working with other developers on the team, working through using a system like GitHub to make sure you manage the branches, making PRs appropriately, using pull requests, people are reviewing your pull requests and so on. So it's an amazing learning experience for everybody. And so I highly recommend that you do it. And I want to say a big thank you to Silas. If you're in Austin area, definitely go to Next.js meetup. It's amazing. He does a really amazing job. And more importantly, where could folks find you, Silas? If they want to stay in touch with you, I know you have Twitter at Silas Path. What else are you working on that you want people to know about?
Yeah, what I'm involved in is continuing to host that Next.js meetup. So we have our Discord for that, and you can reach out to me, Silas Path. This at Silas Path on Twitter or Instagram or other places, and subscribe to Skill Speed for web development. Skill Speed is going to help you learn some news about the industry, product reviews, and we could link that, or just find me on the internet. Google me.
Yeah, you'll
So
see it on Twitter. But if what's it's skillspeed.io or
yeah,
skillspeed.io. So I spelled it wrong. Skillspeed.io.
thanks,
So
private
definitely,
account. We'll see you later.
yeah. Thanks everyone, and we'll see everybody later. And I do have to run. I do have a meeting. Silas, as always, very a pleasure. We'll do more of this for sure. But thank you so much for sharing everything, and I'll see you later, and we'll see everybody later. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.